It's Heart 107.1. I'm Katie. We are broadcasting live from Dubai Link's International Festival of Creativity right here in its 13th year in Dubai at the Mena Arena. And I'm very excited. I physically grabbed hold of this man sitting next to me. It's Fizo, if I pronounced that correctly. It's
Correct.
a little nickname. What's your real name?
It's Ahmed. But
Okay,
if you're
fine.
from Egypt and your name is Ahmed, I mean, one of every 5 people in Egypt is called Ahmed. And that's not even a real stat. I just pulled this off.
Fine, okay, that's
But yeah,
fine.
but you get the drill, right?
Okay, I like it. Fizo will stick with that.
Yeah.
Fizo, you are head of Facebook Creative Shop for Middle East and North Africa.
Correct.
First of all, coolest title ever. I was lucky enough to see your talk yesterday.
Thank you.
It was amazing. I actually left very inspired and just thinking, okay, the creative juices are flowing. Hopefully my radio show today has been just that little bit better because of you. But first of all, for those that don't know, because they just think of Facebook as Facebook.
Right.
You know, it's the blue social media. You keep in touch with your mum and dad back in your home country. What is Creative Shop part of? You know,
Awesome question. I get asked this a lot.
Good.
And Creative Shop is this really small lean team that resides within Facebook and Instagram and the family of apps.
Okay.
And the reason we exist is to actually help advertising agencies and also advertisers in general to do a better job on our platforms. So we use everything we know about the platform and what works, what doesn't work, what are the best practices, and we also try as much as we can to help with our creativity. Hopefully it helps.
Yeah.
But we do all of that just to make sure that we do a better job of landing mobile-first advertising on the platforms and also people-first at the same time.
Because it's very interesting, again, from your talk yesterday about, you know, mobile specific advertising.
Right.
Because now, you know, it pains me to film in vertical, Fizo, I have to tell you. It pains me. I'm a landscape person. But then all of a sudden, I posted my first IGTV
Wow.
about 3 months ago. And someone said to me, oh, I can't believe you're filming in portrait. And I'm like, dude, it's IGTV. Like, I was trying to think, okay, I'm really cool. But that's the thing, it's now changing because the vast amount that's just consumed on your mobile. Do you have like facts and figures about that? I mean,
Yeah,
it's just...
I do have some figures. So,
I'm scared
as a
you
matter
there.
of
I didn't
fact,
even
we were
prep you on
talking
that.
about but we did talk about how like people's, thumb through 80 or 92 per meter per day on social media. That's the feed. If you convert the
person?
feed, one person, that's the average, right? If you convert the Instagram feed and the Facebook feed to just meters,
Yeah.
it will add up to 92 meters. That's as high as the Statue of Liberty, just to give you a little bit of context.
Thumb scrolling,
Yes,
92
yes.
meters.
So that's a
Surely
lot
my
of-
thumb should be a lot bigger than that.
That's a lot of content. But you touch on something that is really important, which is shooting on portrait or vertical as a creative space in general. And you said something very interesting about being like really good with horizontal, and
Right.
that's perfectly fine, because the thing is, and this is I think the trap that people fall into, there's a time and place for everything. So
Right.
when we say, I mean, definitely if you're creating something for stories, whether it's on IGTV or stories in like
General,
the normal
yeah.
stories in general, you're better off shooting it in vertical,
Okay.
because your main subject or main object is dead center and the focus is on it, and it just looks great when
For
you
sure.
hold their hand. with
Also,
the
it's
phone like
really
that.
difficult to get the whole of the Burj Khalifa in a landscape picture.
Of course.
So
Well, you can also,
portrait is great.
Of course. That's a good way to look at it. But there are other times where horizontal works better. So, for example, we do have Facebook Watch, which is
Yes.
basically horizontal.
Yep.
So I'm an old school guy who believes in idea first, and then comes the execution. So
True, okay.
If your idea calls for vertical, then it's vertical.
I
If
like
not, then
that.
it's horizontal.
Okay, all right. And I need to change my language. So it's not portrait and landscape, it's vertical, and horizontal.
But portrait and landscape work as well.
By the end of our conversation, Fizo, I'm going to be really cool, just so you know.
You're already cool, I'm just saying.
Guys, did everyone hear that? Fizo from... No one's listening to how cool I am. A question I wanted to ask you, after your talk yesterday, you blatantly put up your Instagram handle.
Yep.
You asked everyone to follow you.
Yes, I did.
I followed you.
Thank you.
How many new followers did you get during your talk yesterday?
About 300 or 400. That's actually really good.
That is really good. Can
So
you
this
ask
little
them to
trick.
do my handle.
Actually, right. I'll try to do that on my
Oh yeah, cheers.
Instagram
Thank you very
account.
much. Speaking about Instagram though, because
Yeah.
obviously and especially in the MENA region, Instagram is huge.
Right.
I love Instagram, and I have no shame in that. Not that there should be a shame, but I love Instagram. I love social media. I only share what I want to share.
Right.
But and again, especially because of my role, I like to share a lot.
Of course.
But there are so many people, again, in this region that want to be, I hate using the word, they want to be influencers and they want to do better at Instagram. They just want to do more. You are probably the best person to ask.
Right.
How can people, just in general, get better at Instagram? How do you get those all-important likes?
Well, there's a few things that you can actually think of when you're thinking of content on Instagram specific. The first thing probably you need to do is look at the feed and stories as two different kind of communication platforms.
Okay.
And the reason I'm saying that is in the beginning of time, I mean, when Instagram came to life, it was all about sharing everything from the best meal that you had today to a cup of coffee to having just a giggle with friends, right?
Yes.
So always was kind of allowed, right?
Yep.
But all of a sudden people started getting really aware of what they put on their feed, and it almost turned into that gallery of their life.
Yes.
Like really well curated. I've seen stuff from content creators in the region that I go like, I mean, my jaw drop on how beautiful their feeds look. Yeah. And how really, really meticulously they're treating every single detail in the picture to make it perfect.
So if that makes you, so what is that then that made you sort of go, wow, that's a great feed?
Just the quality and how people are using like just a mobile device in their hand to shoot things that in the past we used to have like a whole crew with big cameras to capture, right? But that's the thing, because the feed is becoming this gallery, but people start feeling this limitation in sharing or having the freedom to share things that are ephemeral in nature, if I can say that.
Absolutely.
And this is why the format of stories was kind of like inevitable, because it kind of frees people to express themselves in ways that keeps their beautiful feed intact, right?
Grid,
and then they can do all the crazy stuff, jump off a bridge in a pool or something, do all of those crazy and awesome stuff on stories.
See, and that's what, and I love stories because for me everything goes on stories. It's every day, and then I try and think about, as you say, a little bit more for that fixed post, as it were. Then you get that full extreme, and this is a real story that happened to me, and I had this picture, and actually I was in House of Instagram yesterday. I posted a picture with the like thing. It was great. I got very stuck in the bath thing. It's fine. But this was a little while ago, and I was posting a picture, and a friend of mine who's like really full on Instagram, she said, "Oh, will it go with the color coordination for the rest of your grid?" And what? I'm too busy trying to like make me look amazing.
I've seen this trend. People are doing it in like almost a gradient of color schemes on their whole feed and their grids. Sorry, not the feed, the grid. And it's insane. But if I have to give people advice, if they want to become better content creators, just try to look at everything that everybody's doing and try to do the exact opposite. That's what I would do.
Interesting.
So yes, because when I look at trends, and that's my personal opinion, people are starting to do things that are, well, that's the very definition of a trend, no?
Yes, yes.
Someone starts doing something and then someone likes it and then starts mimicking it, and all of a sudden everybody's doing it.
Yes.
But that creates a clutter. And all of a sudden, whatever you were thinking was very unique about the content that you're pushing becomes just like not unique at all. Quite the opposite. So every one of us has a passion or two, I hope. So if content creators just follow whatever they like and do their thing according to their own rules and what they like to do best, I think they're better off than just following a trend blindly. I'm not saying that trends are not to be considered, of course, but there's a lot to be learned from amazing trends around the world, but we need to add our twist or do something that is a little bit different in our feed.
Basically, you're asking people to be Instagram mavericks, is what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much.
You've got to go left of centre. Okay. Fizo, I know you are speaking very, very soon, and I'm hopefully going to get down there and see you speak again, because genuinely it was fascinating yesterday.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for taking the time to come and see us in the Heart 107.1
My absolute
studio.
Pleasure.